I just put trash all over my body, and then I let it pour out on the audience. Yeah.
No, I just walk around alone at night, listening to Zach Bryan and crying. I know.
Not that late at night.
I know. But then I'm like texting you and I'm like, oh, I'm home. And then I'm
in
like,
bed with Betty.
I'm like, cowboy, take me away. I know that it's like weird, but
last night you felt good because you're on mushrooms.
Yeah. No, I felt really good. And then the country music hit and I started crying. Oh, man. I have so many feelings.
Yeah.
I needed it, though.
It feels good sometimes. You got to get it out.
Yeah,
sometimes you got to put some sad on just to be like, it's time to do this.
Yeah, I feel like I have to, like, I'm not a person who, like, pushes their emotions down. I just make appropriate times for them. And it's usually 3 times a week when I'm 2 beers in, walking home from a show and listening to fucking Zach Bryan and crying.
Yeah. Mine is always when I get home. Are we recording?
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, sick.
We're talking about crying.
Yeah, we're talking about crying. We got a stupid podcast.
Yeah, I do often do it, though. It is at the end of the night. Because I'm, like, dreading the next day. And it's like the fun's over.
Yeah.
And I'm like, now I got to have my real life again tomorrow.
Yeah, also
or something.
I also feel like we're so busy all the time that, like, and this is hilarious, by the way. I feel like we're so busy all the time that we don't have time to, like, just get in our feelings.
Yeah.
So then you have, like, a moment of still, like, before you go to bed, and then you're like, oh, there's something in the orange. It's a Zach Bryan song.
There's something in the orange?
Yeah, it's actually a very sad song.
Oh, I thought you meant, like, that's the thing that tipped you over for the crying to start, because one little thing happened, but it, like, let out all the other stuff.
No, I have no idea.
There's something in the orange.
My brother actually saw Zach Bryan last night.
Nice.
And he said it was great. My brother also loves sad cowboy music.
Aww.
Anyway, we're Worthless Clowns. It's a podcast.
Happy.
It's a podcast about how stupid we all are. I'm Ali O'Neill. You can find me on Instagram at It's Ali O'Neill.
I'm Brittany Cardwell. You can find me on Instagram at Britonis Cardwell. Follow the pod at Worthless Clowns. And we're on YouTube.
We're on YouTube. And guess what? If you're watching the YouTube, you can see me do this. And
I
guess
won't
what?
tell you what she's doing, but it's
Tell
good.
them what they're doing. Subscribe to
It's
our
worth it.
YouTube channel.
Wait, I'm gonna do it too.
And this one. I'm wearing athleisure today, so I can do this. Do you like this?
We got here and Ali, so she started flexing her legs open and asking me about the extension.
Yeah, I was like, are you impressed by this extension?
And then she's like, hey, Maxim, can you see my Laborus Laboriolis? I don't know what it's actually called.
It's called a labia majora. You're thinking of Aurora Borealis. Dude, Laborus Majorealis is like a drag name. Laborus Majorealis.
Oh
That's
God.
the name of this fucking pod,
I'm crying
dude.
already. My contacts are starting to float around on the top of my eyes.
Dude, I had a coffee right before this, and I'm so jazzed.
I'm jazzed.
I'm too jazzed. Also, we got to talk about Drag Race.
Well, yeah, but okay, wait. We should talk about Drag Race.
Yeah.
I'm real jazzed because I went on a run. I haven't gone on a run in a long time.
Hell yeah, brother.
So I got a big ass dopamine hit, but
Dude.
also it's like 80 degrees out.
Yeah.
So I felt like I was like sun sick after. Like my skin was like bright red, not burnt.
Yeah, but just like
And I've just been sweating for like an hour and yeah.
No, my dog, the same thing happened today. She found a ball at the park, and then she decided to carry it home. Every time she finds a ball at the park, she doesn't give a shit about walking anymore. She's like, I gotta go home and figure this out. She like carries it all the way home, and she's like pulling on the leash, being like, I gotta get home right now and chew the shit out of this. So she's like walking with a ball in her mouth and like panting. So there's like a ball in one side of her mouth, and then her tongue is hanging out the other side of her mouth. And then she keeps looking at me like, dude, are we going home yet? I gotta go home and chew this. And then she gets inside.
She thinks there's a time limit on the ball.
Yeah. And like she gets inside and then she's like chewing it and being like because and I'm like, dude, can you drink some water? Because like pit bulls overheat like so easily because they're fucking so dense.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm fucking jacked up on caffeine.
Oh man.
We gotta talk about Drag Race because you watched it for the first time when we were in Boston.
Oh yeah. Well, I'd seen some of it, but I'd never really watched it till Boston.
Yeah, and
it was great. I loved
Okay, so here's a little bit about me. I started watching Drag Race when I was in high school, like before it was a big thing. Not to be like this. I'm not trying to be like this. I'm glad that it's a big thing because like it feels like this is so dumb. I'm like so proud of it.
Because you got in early, like with a startup company.
Not even that. I'm just proud of it.
You have like shares emotionally.
Yeah, emotional shares. And like, I'm just proud of the program because I feel like it's so good. And I'm glad that it's getting all of this attention. And it feels like I have like a close friend who I knew was really like a really good comedian and then got huge. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
I know what you mean.
And like I was watching it while it was on TV in season 3. That's how fucking long ago. And it got big in like probably season 6 or 7.
Yeah.
Because it moved over from Logo TV, which is like a channel that nobody has, to VH1 in season 8.
Yeah. And it also, it seems like, and I don't really know because I just started watching it, but it seems like it hasn't plateaued or anything. Like it's just grown and grown and grown.
Yeah, exactly. And it like the way so you're watching season 4 right now, which is one of the best seasons. The way that like the show has changed a lot because like Fifi O'Hara on season 4 got like so much hate.
Did not like Fifi.
She was like 25 and really angry and then like yelling at everyone and being like a huge cunt to everyone.
Yeah.
And,
wait,
like,
what's the thing? Go back to
Party City where you belong. Tired ass showgirl. At least I am a showgirl, bitch. Dude,
Ali said that all weekend in Boston.
Dude, I know.
That's all we talked about.
I know. Also, there's so many great quotes from that show just from like the few episodes that we watched. Like Sharon Needles is this like alt like spooky goth drag queen.
Yeah, she's all ghosty and bony.
Yeah, ghosty and bony. And she like, there's this one part in episode 1 where she's explaining what she does for drag and she's not even mic'd. So like the audio in it is so weird and she's just like explaining it. And she's like, I just take bags of trash out of the trash can and then I tape them all over myself and I rip them open and I put trash all over people in the audience. And she's like being like so big and crazy with it. She's like, I just throw trash over everybody. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to watch me reenact that. And then Madame LaQueer, who's a Puerto Rican. I am so jazzed right now. I'm so sorry. I'm screaming.
I feel tired.
And Madame LaQueer, who's like a Puerto Rican drag queen, she like saw RuPaul walk in the workroom for the first time, and then she's like, I just got so excited, I pissed all over the floor and started doing flip-flops. It's like so insane.
There's some really good quotes in the show.
Dude, it's the fucking best show of all time.
Yeah, and the challenges are real funny.
They're so ridiculous.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Some of them are like a lot of them are real fun to watch. Some of them are so cringy. Like, what was the one they had to do like a duo where they were like enemies?
Oh, yeah, the Frenemies challenge. Yeah. Where they like matched up people who hate each other. Yeah. And then made them do a musical number together and sing live. Yeah. And one of them could sing well.
Yeah.
And they had to do this like little skit.
It was awful. That was the worst.
So
that was one of the worst things.
And then Fifi O'Hara, who's like a pageant girl, she's the one who's like, at least I am a showgirl, bitch. And then
go back to Party City where you belong. Yeah. I got it finally.
Yeah. There you go.
After hearing it 1,000 times.
Dude, and they played it over and over and over again. Like every time they would go to a commercial break, they would play it again. And then I would say it as they were saying it on the TV.
And they would change the like the filter to make it look like it was in the past and serious.
Yeah.
As well.
No, totally. There's some some great fights on that show.
Yeah.
Anyway, oh man. I'm exhausted now.
Oh yeah, when we were in Boston too, we were getting so obsessed with Drag Race, we didn't even want to hang after the shows. We were like, so after you finish your drink, should we just go home and watch a few episodes of Drag Race?
Yeah, and we were staying with
like in a new comedy city.
I know, yeah.
And we didn't want to hang.
But also like we were on the 10 p.m. show and we were like, hey, where should we go after this? Like, are there any shows at like any late shows? And they're like, this is the latest show. And we're like, God, fucking shitty ass B cities. Yeah. Go back to Party City where you belong.
I just put trash all over my body and then I let it pour out on the audience. Yeah.
Oh my God. You got a stupid story for us?
Yeah, I do.
I love this one.
Yeah, me too.
Great. End of podcast.
That's it. If you want to hear the story, we need 1,000 followers. Then we'll tell the story most of you don't care about.
Yeah. As soon as we get 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, then we'll start binging and bonging for real.
Yeah.
And then I'll let you all see my Laborious Majorealis.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so we've talked about this boyfriend before. This is one my first boyfriend. He's in like a death metal band, drummer. And we talked about him when we talked about the dog shirt that I had.
Yes, it was his brother who you gave the
his brother. I gave him the Confederate state belt on accident. I thought it meant Counter-Strike. Anyway, so I'm dating this guy. He's in a metal band. It's called Robot Pit, right?
Robot
Pit.
I thought you were gonna say robot piss.
Oh, that would have been good.
And it's just oil.
Yeah. I had some other friends in college who were in a metal band as well. Theirs is called Wolf Fellatio.
Wolf fillet? Ew.
Yeah.
Wait, are the wolves filleting or are we filleting the wolves?
Nobody knows.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Ugh. God.
I don't know what's up with those guys. Anyway.
They're like, I really want to suck a dog's dick.
Anyway, so Robot Pit, we just started like dating. Hadn't been that long. He did these shows all the time in Olympia, and
yeah, and I'm sure they were like in basements and shit.
They're in like really like shitty venues, basement-y type. But if not, just like small.
I know
ceilings.
people in the hardcore scene.
Yeah, it was fun. I went to a lot of that stuff back then. I kind of we're gonna go to some of that.
Yeah, we gotta go.
I want to get back into it.
We gotta go to
Kenneth's. Then I can reconnect with my first boyfriend.
You're like, that's what I've been missing.
Yeah, that's
having
been the
him
problem.
drum on his chest
since
while
I was 19.
Toast.
I felt different. Yeah, because we're not just sitting there and I'm waiting for him to stop drumming to ask me a question.
To ask you about your day.
Yeah. But anyway, my friend Sierra, who you met recently, her and I were like, oh, let's go to Robot Pit and hang out and whatever. Me and Brandon will be boyfriend and girlfriend and I'll hang out there and it'll be really fun. And it'll
be
like
boyfriend and girlfriend.
Whatever. However I thought about stuff at that time.
Sierra's like, I can't wait for you guys to be boyfriend and girlfriend.
She was really excited about it.
That's awesome.
She was like, he has nice arms.
Dude, one time I was driving with my friend Matt Penna through the city and our windows were open and there was a guy who was jacked and I was like, I didn't say this for him, but he heard it and I was like, oh, hello, arms. And then he looked over and I was like, drive.
Oh, the guy who you said it about looked over.
Yeah. Because like the window was down because it was hot and I just said it for me.
Yeah. I'm not usually like super into arms or there's nothing specific I look for, but every so often you're like, oh, that's nice.
I like guys who have big arms and shoulders and are a little bit fat.
Yeah.
I like that. I like bears. I'm a gay dude.
Yeah, I guess I'm into bears. Yeah. But anyway, so we go to the show, Robot Pit, and something they do.
You have to call it Robot Piss.
Robot Piss. They would like fans would like dress up as robots and then they'd have a mosh pit.
That's what
all
it is.
Robots.
A mosh piss.
Yeah. So me and Sierra were like, okay, we got to make a robot costume.
Yeah.
And we didn't have anything. So we went around to all these businesses nearby and just asked them if they had extra cardboard. We were just going to like tape stuff around us and spray paint it or whatever. And
you went around to businesses and asked them if they had
for cardboard so we can make robot costumes. We got to a refrigerator store.
Perfect.
And they gave us some boxes.
But also the refrigerator boxes are so big.
Exactly. They're enormous. They were huge. We thought it was perfect because it's like a big boxy robot.
But it's so cumbersome.
Like a classy.
Classy.
Really classy robot.
Dude, this is robot. A RuPaul's Drag Race like mini challenge.
Yeah.
Make a classy robot piss out of a fucking refrigerator box. I'm so sorry.
So we get these big ass boxes and we put them on, but they're so big that our arms are like sticking out. Our hands come out of the sides.
Yeah.
That's how wide the boxes are.
Yeah.
So we couldn't like do anything physically at all. And we had a helmet as well, just a small box around our head.
You should have like cut like parts out of the box and then taped it together to make it smaller.
Definitely.
I would have been able to do that.
It was pretty clear when we got there that's what we should have done.
I'm just saying that I would have won RuPaul's Drag Race instead of you.
There were some really good robot costumes.
At least I am a showgirl bitch.
Yeah. Go back to parties. Go back to that refrigerator store where you belong. So we get to the show and everyone else has these like fitted robot costumes. Me and Sierra walk in refrigerator-sized robots, and we're in the way the entire mosh. We're just these huge barriers in the mosh pit.
Yeah.
And we're like the only girls. and our helmets keep falling off, but we can't pick them up. We had to like try and like lean over, but our hands, we're like T-Rexes, but with our hands out sideways. So we're like trying to lean over and pick them up. This happened probably 10 times. And somebody has to like watch over us and pick up our helmet for us and put it on us.
Yeah. And then you're like, thank you. You're like holding a drink, and then you're like, you're just pouring water into the boxes.
People were just busting into us the whole time, and we couldn't do anything about it either. We're just standing there being like moved around by all these people trying to mosh around us. It probably contributed to the mosh because it probably like introduced more anger, you know?
Yeah, because people were like,
everyone's just
these
frustrated.
boxes are so big. Robot piss. Oh my God.
The guy kept dating me after that, so
he was like, that's my girlfriend. Pick up her helmet. Yeah, help her put it on. Oh my God. Dude, okay, I wasn't gonna tell this story, but you just reminded me of something, like with the tiny arms. Okay, so this story has so many weird parts to it. But so growing up, I lived with my mom, right? And and so my mom one time in 2001 went to California to visit my Uncle Ted. Her and my Aunt Mookie went to California to visit my Uncle Ted. And I was staying with
Mookie's the one with the bug tattoo.
No, that's Mare. She's the one who has no teeth.
Oh, okay.
Also, side thing, when I was a kid, my mom would be like, did you brush your teeth? And I'd be like, yeah. And she'd be like, I can smell you from over here. I can tell you didn't brush your teeth. Go brush your teeth. You want to have no teeth like Mookie? Call Mookie and ask her what it's like to have no teeth, all right?
Her mom also, if she's like, you better wear your seatbelt. Remember what happened to Princess Diana?
Yeah, I know. I would be leaving. I'd be in high school, leaving to go hang out with my friends. I'd be leaving with Leah. I'd be like, bye, Mom. She'd be like, wear your seatbelt. That's how they got Princess Diana. My mom had so many quips
that's how they got. Like they were waiting for her to forget. To
like
wear
my
seatbelt.
mom knows something that nobody else knows. Yeah. She's like, that's how they got her. Like Princess Diana was wearing a seatbelt and somebody clipped it before she went through the tunnel.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I was 6. I actually remember exactly what year it is because of something that you'll find out later. But
your autism. Your persistent autism that we both have. Persistent, like it's a like
bother.
It's like a body thing.
Yeah. My chronic autism. Like there's a kind of autism that goes away. But anyway, it's close to that. So I was staying with my dad, and my dad lived in Rhode Island, and I was going to school in Massachusetts. So I was staying with my mom's friend, or I was staying with my dad, and my dad would get up really early, drop me off at my mom's friend, and then she would drive me to school or I would like get the bus or whatever near her because my dad he had to get to work, and I don't know, the school was like an hour away. It doesn't matter. Anyway, so I was watching, it was like probably 6 a.m. and I was at this lady's house, and I was watching, okay, you know Ripley's Believe It or Not?
Oh, yeah.
They had a TV show where they would be like, can you believe it? Can you believe this weird thing?
This clown fell off a shelf. This clown doll.
Okay.
Whatever it was.
You're projecting.
Yeah.
Because of that doll we saw last night.
Oh, yeah. We were at, real quick, we were at Maggie Lally's house last night to celebrate her finishing Sex Witch, her musical at Soho Playhouse. It was real fun. But she has this like satanic Barbie doll. It's like a naked Barbie with satanic tattoos all over it. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
One time I was at her place, I pointed at it from far away and it fell over. It was so scary.
And then we saw it last night and Brittany was like, oh!
I kept pointing and it didn't do it because it could tell what I was trying to do.
We all pointed at it and the doll was like, she wants it too much.
It also has an off-centered landing strip.
Oh, like, dude, I've done that before.
Yeah, I know.
Where you keep taking sides off the edge.
Yeah.
And then like it's off center, so it looks like your pussy isn't in the middle.
Yeah. One time
it's like
I got
an optical
a wax,
illusion.
and they did that to me on accident.
Yeah.
Because they were like pulling the skin over so much.
Yeah.
That they thought it was like in the middle.
Yeah.
And she finished and it was like all the way to the right.
And then it looks like your pussy's like over here on your thigh. And you're like, dude.
Yeah. And then I like was sleeping with this guy at this time.
Yeah.
And I thought it was real funny because it looked insane. And he did not want to talk about it. And I was like, yeah, this would never go anywhere. Anyway.
He's like, I can't even find where your pussy is. I'm just frustrated.
Yeah. He keeps following it down and it's not there.
And you're like, why am I at your ankle?
He relies on the line.
Yeah. Anyway, I was watching, there's this one episode of Ripley's Believe It or Not where it was about a lady who had no arms, but she had hands.
Oh, I forgot we were talking about the short hands.
Yeah. And so she had hands attached to her shoulders.
Okay, yep.
And then that same episode had a story of a guy getting sucked into an airplane engine and surviving.
Whoa!
And so I was like 6, and this shit was terrifying.
Yeah.
It was so scary.
It's like the parasite on the last episode we recorded.
Yes!
Yeah.
It really affected me.
Like things that seemed really prominent and like
Yeah.
actual things to fear.
Yes.
But they're real specific.
Yeah. And so when I would stay at my dad's house, we didn't have a bedroom there. We just had pull-out cots in the basement. And so we can unpack that another time. But and so like me and my brother would like sleep on these cots in his basement. And I remember going to bed that night absolutely terrified of the lady with no arms.
Oh, man.
And I was terrified of getting sucked into a jet engine.
Yeah.
And like in this fucking basement. And like it was so like I couldn't sleep for like 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
And then my mom
You thought you get sucked into an engine when you weren't on a plane or near a plane?
I don't know. I was 6. So
Just
I was
the
like,
idea of it though is scary.
it's terrifying.
It's hard to stop thinking
and they
about.
showed like pictures of him and shit.
Oh.
Yeah, and I was like 6 and
Was he
watching
just
this
banged
shit.
up or did he lose limbs?
No, he was all like fucked up.
Yeah.
He was fucked up. And so I was terrified of this shit. And then 9/11 happened.
Right after?
Literally 3 days after.
Oh my God.
9/11 happened and my mom was in
my
California
God.
and she was supposed to fly home.
Yeah.
And so I remember the lady whose house I would stay at in the morning explaining 9/11 to me.
Yeah.
And then she was like, your mom's probably like not going to be able to come home soon. So my mom and my Aunt Mookie had to like fucking drive home from California because they couldn't get a flight.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember hearing about 9/11 and being so upset that I had to stay at my dad's house. Like that was the worst part of 9/11 for me is that I had to stay in this rollout cot in the basement for like a week more.
Yeah.
I was like, oh God, because I couldn't understand the level of tragedy that had just happened.
No. How old were you again?
6.
6, yeah.
It was 2001, so I was 6.
Yeah.
And so like, I was like, a terrorist crashed into the World Trade Center and I have to stay at my dad's house.
Man.
So that's my stupid story.
Yeah, that's good.
And the lady with the little arms, really, I was terrified of her, even though it was like a really like, it was like a happy, inspiring story being like, look, this lady has no arms, but she's trying on wedding dresses to get married.
Yeah.
It was like shit like that.
That is nice, but it's also like, okay, that's what you think we think a fulfilling life is.
I know, yeah. They were like,
she got to do everything she wanted.
Yeah, I know.
She put on a wedding dress.
I know. Look at this lady who found love even though she has no arms.
It's kind of like
it's like patronizing.
To frame it that way.
I know, yeah. So that's my stupid story, I guess.
Man. Should
we get into the posting?
Yeah.
The fucking.
Oh yeah, yeah, we should.
I am lightheaded.
Same.
Okay. Maxim
just went. Yeah.
He just went.
Yeah.
He was just like. Puh! No, he didn't do that. Okay. All right. Am I the asshole for hiding vegetables in my boyfriend's food? Throwaway, because he spends a lot of time on Reddit. This is the most ridiculous argument I've had with a grown man. I, 28, female, have been with my boyfriend, 36. It says female, but I'm assuming male. For a year, and we moved in together about 4 months ago. Dude, people move in way too fast.
Yeah.
You should.
I've been there.
Yeah, me too. I moved in with my ex who threw a chair at me in like 3 months.
God, I feel like I can never do it again unless it's been like 2.5 years.
Yeah.
My
ideal situation is like we live in the same apartment building but have different apartments.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
even that's a lot.
Yeah, or maybe like we're in Maybe we're a 10-minute walk from each other.
Yeah.
That'd be nice.
I just don't trust anybody anymore.
Yeah, I don't trust any man ever again, but luckily nobody will ever like me ever again.
Hey.
Okay, so
hey, we don't have to worry about it. It's like when you get fired from something, you're like, hey,
yeah, I
no
know.
stress.
Yeah, it's like silver lining. I don't have to trust a man again because nobody will ever like me. Sorry, I'm going through something. All right. One of the first things I noticed.
Can you tell? After the pod last night, we just ranted for an hour.
We went after the
We're
pod
like, we're
yesterday.
anxious.
After the pod yesterday, we went to a restaurant and both cried in it, and then we went and had a fun party time at Maggie's.
Yeah, and then we did mushrooms. Now look at us.
Now look at us.
Everything's fine.
Yeah. I'm having a good time. All right. One of the first things I noticed about my boyfriend was that he never really ate vegetables. He would sometimes eat them if we were out at a restaurant and they came as a part of his meal, but he never ate them when I cooked for him.
Wait. Can I just stop this? If I met someone who I started noticing never ate vegetables, it would make me feel less attracted to them.
Absolutely.
I knew a woman who didn't drink water. She only drank other stuff.
That bitch
Juice.
is gonna get kidney stones.
Yeah.
That's insane. Like,
She looked awful all the time.
One of the biggest icks. She looked awful.
She was also
all the
mean,
time.
so I feel like I can say that.
Yeah, she was probably angry because her fucking urethra hurt.
Yeah. Her
all
pee's
the time.
brown.
Yeah,
that's why she's mad.
She fucking probably hisses like petroleum jelly.
Yeah.
All right.
God.
Dude, robot piss. It's oil.
Yeah.
Dude, that lady has a robot piss. I am so sweaty right now. All right. One of the biggest icks for me and a man is like when you go to a restaurant, he orders chicken fingers. Like it's okay to like chicken fingers, but it's like I don't like men who are don't eat like adults.
Yeah, they're still eating like little kids.
Yeah, I used to date a guy who would only eat like chicken fingers, or if we went to a restaurant, like a steak. Like he wouldn't try anything new. And I was like, ugh.
I was dating this guy, the guy that I was in a 4.5-year relationship with. Great guy. But for a while, he was eating so much candy because we were in grad school.
Oh,
and I was so worried that he was going to get diabetes. I was scared. But anyway, okay, so she's hiding vegetables. I think it's good so far. I think it's a good idea.
Oh, wait, okay, we're not even there yet. Okay, he never ate vegetables when I cooked for him. Originally, I thought that maybe my cooking was the problem, so I asked him if he enjoyed my food, and he told me he loves my cooking. On nights I didn't cook for him, he ate exclusively frozen foods and never ate the vegetables in those either. Naturally, he had some health issues, vitamin deficiencies, etc. He had phrased it to me as he was somehow just genetically unlucky. I believed it for a while, because I don't know how that stuff works, but eventually women do this.
Yeah.
They're like, I don't know how anything works.
Yeah, you're probably right. You're avoiding all the basic things you need, but you're
know,
probably right. It's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah. I believed it for a while because I don't know how that stuff works, but eventually it became clear to me it's because he voluntarily eats a vegetable once a month. 6 months ago, I started hiding vegetables in my cooking. If I was making pasta, I'd put the vegetables in. I'd usually put it in for myself, then take half out and blend it so he wouldn't notice the vegetable chunks, and then tell him I'd just scooped the veg out of his portion. This happens more often now that we live together because I do all of the cooking. He's been telling me a lot lately that he's been feeling a lot better the past few months, and he has even had his doctor reduce the dosage of some medications, and he hasn't had to take his multivitamin in weeks. I kept my mouth shut because I'm just glad he's feeling better, and it really does me no harm to hide a veg in his food.
This is so remember the post we had on Josh Johnson's episode where it was the guy who there's the woman he was dating liked the essence flavor of of tomato sauce for her spaghetti, but she didn't want the sauce. She just wanted her noodles dipped in the sauce and then rinsed off, so they only had an essence.
Yeah,
and then
a LaCroix level of tomato sauce.
Yeah, LaCroix sauce. And the boyfriend didn't really do it, and she got mad because he wasn't cooking the way that he said he was cooking for her.
Yeah,
this is an actual.
This is the opposite.
This is the opposite, where it's this is actually important, and he doesn't notice. He likes what he's eating.
Yeah.
His health is getting better.
I know.
And he's pissed.
I know. Wait. Hold on. Let's get to the part where he gets pissed.
Oh, I already read this, obviously.
Yeah. Yesterday, I was making one of our regular pasta meals. It's one that's very easy to hide at least 4 veggies in. This guy is just like, this is like when you put a dog's pill in peanut butter.
Yeah.
You put a pill in a piece of cheese, and then your dog is like, oh shit, cheese.
Yeah. It's also like baby food, kind of. It's all just like ground up veggies with like some sweetness in it.
Yeah. Have you seen those videos of like a guy will be feeding, or somebody will be feeding a baby. A guy will be feeding a baby. Some guy will be feeding a baby.
Understood.
It's just weird for me to be like, some guy will be feeding a baby.
Like you're mad about the concept of it.
Yeah. So some guy will be feeding a baby, and he'll have like chocolate on a spoon and then like veggies on a spoon. And he'll like put the chocolate near the baby's mouth, and the baby will open their mouth.
Yeah.
And then the guy will the guy will just like slip in the veggies, and the baby will eat it, because babies are stupid. They have no life experience.
Yep. Yeah, this is this, but she's doing it for a 36-year-old.
Yeah. And I was about to blend my boyfriend's portion when the blender died mid-blend. I had to serve it in all its veg chunk glory. My boyfriend refused to eat the vegetables, but when he tasted the sauce, he said it's weird how it tastes the exact same, even though it has one veg in it. So I confessed. He screamed at me and called me a controlling bitch, and said that it's none of my business if he thinks the vegetables vegetables don't do anything. I pointed out that he said he felt better. He said his health was none of my business, and that I'm a controlling, judgy asshole, and I stormed out of our apartment to stay with his sister. Oh, and he stormed out of our apartment to stay with his sister. His sister texted me to say he's fine, but she agrees with him. My friends agree that it's ridiculous that he didn't eat veg, but agree that I'm being an asshole. Am I the asshole?
I think you're doing him a huge favor.
I think that I don't think the problem is if she's an asshole or not.
No, I think it's the guy.
I think that he needs to fucking nut up and eat a vegetable.
So basic.
It's so dumb.
Just eat your food.
Yeah.
Wait, I forgot what I was going to say. Sorry.
I think that it's a problem that she has to hide it in the first place.
Yeah.
I think that there's probably deeper, another theme in these posts. There's deeper problems in this relationship where she feels like she can't be like, can you please fucking eat a vegetable?
Yeah.
You know?
Like, I'm concerned for you.
Yeah.
I want to tell you, I'm saying this because I want you to feel better.
Yeah.
She can't even say that. He probably screams about that.
Yeah, and he's like, you controlling bitch.
Yeah.
And then he's like, his foot is gangrenous.
Yeah.
And she's like, he's like, it's none of your fucking business if I lose a foot. And it's like, yeah, it kind of is my business.
Yeah. Also, like, what level of evidence does he need to be like, okay, I guess vegetables do something
Also,
good.
Here's the thing. As adults, we all do things that we don't want to do. Like, that's what being an adult is.
Yeah.
It's like doing shit that you don't want to do. You know?
Yeah, and not having to eat a spoonful of veggies after smelling a chocolate spoon.
Yeah. Like a
That's
dumb
what being
baby.
adult is.
Like a dumb baby who's being fed by a guy.
By some guy.
Some guy.
But yeah, it's like I wonder what other stuff he's not doing.
Yeah, there's definitely more
He's probably not doing anything.
There's probably more shit that he probably is like, I don't wash my ass because it's gay to touch my ass.
Yeah, and
He's
I know it's
guys.
gay.
Yeah.
I know that for sure.
Which men who think it's gay to wash their ass are just so afraid that they're going to touch their beehole and immediately like come in their pants.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're going to touch it and they're going to be like, oh God. And then they're going to like, they look in the mirror and they have a wig on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. This is a thing.
Ali
knows a lot of men who have never washed their asses.
Okay, first of all,
Never.
I don't know a lot of men. I dated one in high school. I dated one guy in high school who told me he thought it was gay to wash his ass.
Okay. For some reason, I thought there were multiple.
No. But there's like big communities on Reddit of men who are like, do you remember there's this guy who got like, he like blew up on the internet because he only ate meat. And he was
Atkins?
like super... No, not Jordan Peterson. But he's like, he has a Jordan Peterson vibe, but he's like super jacked and he kept going on people's podcasts and he was like, who? Liver King.
Liver
Yes.
King. Oh,
Liver King.
I haven't heard of him.
He's just this guy who like was super oiled up and like jacked. Thank
Yeah.
you, Maxim. Maxim was the one who's screaming out the whatever. But the Liver King, he would like eat. He was like got huge on TikTok because he would be like, look at this. And he would take a raw liver and then just eat the whole thing on a TikTok.
I thought the blood dripped down his neck.
I know that you haven't seen it before, but you're like picturing
That's how
it.
I'm seeing it.
Yeah, and you're like, oh
God.
And like he literally was on a podcast once. They were like, what are your shits like? And he's like, I don't have to wipe at all. I don't wipe. And then he's like, you don't wipe your ass after you shit?
You don't know you don't have to wipe unless you try to wipe.
Unless you wipe.
You have to try.
Yeah.
And then you're like, whoa.
Yeah, one time I saw a
Once a year, I'm like, I didn't even have to wipe. Not
Once a
every
year.
day.
Once a year.
It's a ghost, you know?
Yeah.
Sometimes, but
You
not
ever-
that often.
You ever take a shit? Oh, we're ending with another poop. We did this last
We
episode.
did.
But like, you ever take a shit and then it like sinks down to the bottom and it's gone?
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh my, am I Houdini? Oh my God. Also, speaking of the last episode.
Wait, what happened with... Oh, it was just about that guy's shits?
Yeah, and he was like, I don't have to wipe my ass.
Oh, right.
I don't have to wipe my ass because I have
Man,
clean
he
shits.
changed his whole lifestyle.
He's like, it's a feminine trait to have to wipe your ass. Also, another thing I saw on Reddit once, or maybe it was a tweet that was like, how do blind people know when to stop wiping?
Mm.
And I'm like, that's a real
That's a really
good question.
Mm.
That's a real good question. But we were
It's just
talking.
smells and feels. Because, like, you know,
I
like
don't
other
know.
sensory stuff takes over more.
Yeah,
in your
that's true.
brain.
Write
But-
into the pod. Write into the pod and tell us how blind people wipe their ass. But we were talking about yesterday how my dad was like doing a prayer before our meal for way too long.
Oh, yeah.
And then I found a TikTok which sounded exactly like him. So I'm gonna.
Oh, yeah. So in case this one doesn't come out right after, the prayer was like super meandery.
Yeah, and he
There
had
was
no
no
idea what he
point
was
to
saying.
it.
It was all filler
It went on for forever.
for
and we
way
were like
too long.
some of the only people in the restaurant sitting in
Yeah.
the middle at a big table.
Yeah, and this is a guy being interviewed at like
Which
Comic-Con.
fandom do you think has the smelliest fans? Like,
I think it would definitely I think fandom wise, I think it would definitely have to be anything that's probably and I think it's definitely anything that's I think it's someone who's just as death characters maybe.
which fandom do you think has the smelliest?
That's also like that one kid who's like, would you ever
Do you ever think you could do him so much you could do anything?
That's what your dad's prayer was
That's
like.
what my dad sounded like when he was trying to pray and like make it like sound good. Oh my
man.
fucking God.
Where are we? Got some more time.
We got some more time.
Okay.
10 or 12 more minutes. God
10 or
bless
12.
America.
Yeah.
You got anything else?
Well,
I feel like I've been screaming this entire time.
So do I. But I was screaming all night last night too.
Me too, dude.
Everywhere we went was so loud.
Yeah. Yeah, I was overstimmed.
Yeah. I do have I have one story that's kind of related to this. Your like little hand lady
Yeah.
and the airplane turbine. Is that a word for that?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like not being able to sleep because you're just so focused on these freaky things.
Yeah.
Like, also, isn't it weird that Ripley's Believe It or Not is just like this lady,
I know.
right? It's almost
They're like, look, this lady has a genetic deformity. Let's stare at her.
Like, you're not supposed to have like freak shows at
no,
a
no,
circus.
no. Yes.
But Ripley's Believe It or Not can do some form of that.
But you know what the modern day circus is? TLC programming. It's always
You
like,
sound like my dad. That's a
Brit,
circus.
piece of cheese, Brit.
Piece of cheese.
Piece of
Brittany.
cheese, Brit. TLCs. Freaks.
I don't know if they know that. Do they know about piece of cheese?
Oh, you gotta explain piece of cheese.
Okay,
Brit.
so my dad, a lot of dad talk lately.
Lot of dad
Lot of
talk.
dad
I'm gonna
talk.
rest my little foot right
He-
here. I'm overextending.
He'll walk. Can you see her laborious Joliolius? I can see it, and I know what it is.
Welcome to the stage, laborious Jabor.
So my dad loves cheese, right?
Is your dad a mouse?
Yeah, good one. Since we were kids, he'll just get out a block of cheese, cheddar cheese.
Yeah.
He'll walk to the fridge with like a lot of energy.
all excited.
He's all
like
excited about the cheese. He pulls it out, cuts up a big chunk, and he's like, can't wait to eat this cheese. And he's so excited. It's like he wants to share this with everybody.
Yeah.
And he'll yell. Since I was a kid, he's been doing this thing where he'll yell through the house when he's got cheese out. And he's like, Brittany, piece of cheese. Piece of cheese, Brittany.
piece of cheese, Brit.
He's like yelling up the stairs. Drew, Casey, piece of cheese. So it's just this constant like thing that's in my mind kind of since I was a kid. Sometimes I'll be in my own apartment and I'll end up just cutting a piece of cheddar cheese.
You're just like your father.
Yeah, and then out loud I'll be like, piece of cheese, Brittany? Piece of cheese?
And your neighbors are like, I thought that lady lived alone.
Yeah, man, they hear me talking a lot.
Yeah, dude.
They don't know what's going on in my apartment.
Oh my God. We were talking about this last night.
And
where
masturbating sometimes.
looking at porn
No, I'm not kidding,
once a
actually.
year.
Yeah, once a year, maybe twice.
Oh, it's my annual porn day. You put the projector up.
And I let everybody know.
Yeah.
It's my big day.
Yeah.
It's like those personal days they give you at work where it's like supposed to be personal holidays relevant
Yeah,
to
and
you.
you're like, I'm gonna watch porn.
day.
Porn day. Last night we were talking about how you and I were talking about how like sometimes if you haven't talked to people all day and you have a Zoom meeting that you practice talking to people.
Yes, I do.
And I was like, I don't have to do that because I talk to my dog all the time.
Yeah.
And so before I get on a Zoom, I'll be talking to my dog. I'll be like, you're just a little girl. You're
It's her
just a
warm-up
tiny little
For the
girl.
Zoom.
Oh, you're so small. You're just a tiny little girl and your feet stink. Hey, what's up? Can you move that over like 4 pixels? I'll be like, this is not on brand. You're just a little girl. You're just a little girl. You're just a tiny girl.
Yeah.
Are you
Yeah.
a wiggly little girl? The shit I say to my dog is insane.
Man, I wish I had a dog for that. Because it feels much dumber for me to be like, hey, my name's Brittany Cardwell. I'm like practicing just saying
Brittany
stuff
Cardwell,
about myself.
PhD.
PhD, that's right. Check out my Google Scholar page. It hasn't been updated in years.
One time we roasted each other and I Googled your name so I could try to find your website, but all that came up was your Google Scholar thing. So I was like, I'm gonna get some material from
Look at these
scientific-
citations.
Yeah.
Look at these low citations of these papers that nobody reads.
I was
Nobody
like,
cares
dude, I'm
about.
gonna read this scientific paper and then find material. I got a sentence in and I was like, I can't fucking read this. I was like, I barely know how to read. Never mind like a dense scientific paper.
Well, I don't know how dense they are. I think they're pretty dumb now.
And then I was, imagine if I wrote jokes and I was like, oh, can you, Brittany think, I'm gonna improvise a roast joke. It's gonna be so bad.
Let's do this.
Brittany thinks that,
Her experiments worked.
Brittany thinks that photographic memory makes you believe stuff that doesn't exist.
These are actually
You know
really
what doesn't
good.
exist? Brittany's sense of humor.
Oh, nailed it.
Then I do the DX thing where I
Yeah.
tell them to suck my cock and then I
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
That would have worked.
That
You
would
should do that next time.
That would have worked at Comedy Fight Club. Would not have worked at New York Comedy Club.
Yeah. Man. I got roasted by someone at my work for my Google Scholar page.
Really? What did they say?
Yeah, an author was real mad that I don't even know if I'm allowed to share this. It's general enough. I can say this. They got real mad because I rejected their paper,
Mhm.
right? So then they looked me up. They probably saw a bunch of stupid
Oh,
comedy
this guy
shit.
who sucks.
Huh?
The guy who sucks at your work.
No. Oh,
Somebody else?
We gotta bleep that out.
Oh.
No, like an author. Like they submit to us, and then I'll be like,
Oh.
sorry, we can't publish it.
Oh my god.
Right? This guy got so mad that I said no. He looked me up, probably saw a bunch of my stupid garbage, like comedy stuff.
Don't call it stupid
No,
garbage
but
comedy
to
stuff,
him,
Brittany.
he's like, look at this. She
Yeah.
doesn't care about my paper or something. you
Yeah,
know?
she's too busy fucking telling jokes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he was like, he wrote to like someone above me and was like, so somebody, he's being a Karen. He's like, I got my paper rejected and it looks like the person who rejected it, like her Google Scholar page, there's barely anything there. She's publishing in specialized journals. Nobody's reading them or citing them. And you think that she can make a decision about my paper? Signed. And he like CC'd me and everything.
Oh my
He
god.
was trying to really throw me under the bus.
Dude, he was so fucking
Yeah,
he was
yeah,
like
yeah.
so pissed
he
about
was
it.
pissed.
God. That's so bananas.
It was when I first started started too, like within the first, I don't know, 6 months.
And you were like, wow, I'm going to get fucking cyberbullied for rejecting
so
papers.
I kind of took it a lot more personally at that time because over time I realized like people just get mad and they don't let themselves think about it for a few days before responding.
They react with a lot of emotion.
Yeah, as soon as they get the rejection, they're like, this bitch, she does comedy too. She does a podcast only Mike Racine listens to. What?